Let's talk about better sage walls. I'm not talking about Grim or Flow Ascending or any of those cheeky angles. I'm talking about stall. Stalling well. Stalling your chokes well with your wall. Let's look at this one on B Garage. A lot of sages like this wall. I use this wall. It's an okay wall, but they only have to break one segment to get through. You throw a wall like this, here at an angle, and suddenly when they're pushing Garage, they still have to break the one segment to get into Boathouse, but they have no control over Cat. It takes them twice as long to get to Cat. So if you hear them breaking that wall, you know they have control of Cat. Same thing over here on Tree and Cat. You can block off Cat to Tree, but you can also block off Tree to Garden and the rest of Site. Now, some of these walls leave a little bit of angle. You'll want to let your team know that they can still get shot from that side, but it does take twice as long for them to actually be able to take control. Same here on A long. This one's a little bit finicker just because it's a very wide choke, but a little bit of practice. Boom. Can't squeeze through here. Can't squeeze through here. Now, obviously, Jets and Raises can still go over the top. Same thing with Omen, but you need to choose when you use these walls yourself. If you take control of Heaven, I never really like to push up this far as Sage. I don't think it's the best idea, but say you do. Again, 2 segments to get control of Heaven. Twice as long. Going over to Haven, say you take control of A. Now, I like to use this wall for post-plant. I also like to use this wall for post-plant. This one's a little bit better because you can get the 50-50 with someone in Hell when they're coming out of the segment. But if you're just looking for time, how about this wall? Again, a little bit of a gap. You could probably tweak that and tighten it up. A little bit more practice. But they ain't getting through that wall without breaking 2 segments. Some of the examples here are completely useless. I don't know when you would ever want to use this one, but I think the key takeaway is look for these corners that Riot puts in their map where you can use your wall twice as effectively to block off a choke as normal. Again, this one's kind of weird, but, you know, make it work for you. I'm not so sure about this wall here. It's a little finicky. Again, a very wide choke. And it's kind of close. Though you can jump on it from defense, so if you wanted to hop off it and push, you always could. But, I don't know. That one's got to be pretty precise. But, again, it's not about specific walls that I'm showing you here. It's about thinking in more abstract ways. Like this one. Blocks off Garage, but it also cuts off that edge of box and CT to logs. Now they can jump over logs over there, but in this one, I don't ever push that far on a post plant with Sage because it just doesn't seem like a smart idea to push that far into CT, but if you want to, boom, there you go. This is a wall I do use. Of course, I wouldn't be using it from this direction. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Instead of just blocking it off straight like you normally would see, you throw this one right there, and suddenly they can get onto B with just one, but they are not pushing that angle. So you know they're coming around the other side, or they have to break that wall to get through. And it's just thinking about abstract ways to get it working. Here's a few on Bind that I like. This one on Hookah is decent. You've got to make sure to do this one just right, or they push through on this and just barely slip through here. Just want to make sure it's far enough forward. This is one I use on post plant all the time once we get control of site, because blocking that CT rotation is very strong. And even if they choose to break one of these other segments first, there's still not much they can do, of course. Then you play the cheeky Sage position right here, and they push right past you on your side, and you get some back of the head shots. But again, there's just ways to play. Just think about it. This one, if you want to do right in the beginning, you can get on top, give them a peek, fall back, and from their direction, again, 2 segments to get through hookah, which, with a shorty with unlimited ammo, no problem. But in a main game, when you're spraying it down with rifles, not so much. This one, again, not sure when you'd use it. Maybe if you're rotating and trying to hold them from following you, but it's all about thinking in ways to make it work. Cuts off 2 chokes rather than just 1. Get more value out of your wall. If you're taking A on bind, I like this one for showers. I've used it a couple of times, and again, these if you're trying to stall with a wall, there are better ways to do it than just throwing it across choke. Now, obviously, some of these kind of preclude you from being able to get up on top of them and take a cheeky angle, but not all of us are Grim, Flow Ascending, or even Quirky these days. Block off U-Haul with a double wall. Oh, this is one I really like. If you can push onto sight that far, you just stop them down right here. Anyway, I hope some of these have helped, or at the very least got you thinking about better ways to use your Sage Wall.